Good morning. Hundreds of thousands of households are getting cold weather payments from the government to help with heating costs as the freezing conditions continue.
Can explain why. Morning, Emma.
Good morning. Yeah, this is cold weather payments we're talking about today, which is different from winter fuel payments. Let me explain for you. Good morning. Hundreds of thousands of households are getting these payments from the government to help with heating costs as the freezing conditions continue. Now, if you're eligible, you'll automatically get £25, and that's for each 7-day period of cold weather from November to March. You're eligible if you receive any of these benefits, and that includes pension credit and universal credit. Well, then you most likely qualify for the cold weather payments. And you'll get the support when the average temperature in your area is recorded as 0 degrees Celsius or is forecast to be 0 or below over 7 consecutive days. Now, this happened on 4 separate days recently. It was really chilly, wasn't it? December the 30th and the first 3 days of the year. And it covers a total of 451 postcode areas in England, Wales and Northern Ireland. So if you think you qualify and you haven't yet had the money, well, you can check if your postcode is included on the government website. A little different in Scotland, though. There are, of course, up there some of the lowest temperatures and heaviest snowfall. And there's a separate scheme for Scotland, and it's called the winter heating payment. It's a single payment of nearly £60, and that's paid in December. You can also check on the Scottish Government website if you qualify for that. Worth having a look. And later this morning, too, the government is scheduled to provide more details on how many people have been receiving these payments as the freezing weather continues. John and Sally.
Really important, Emma. Yeah,
it really is. It's gone on for such a long time, hasn't it? This
audiences.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I actually got a couple of AI books as presents for my toddler. And they're all quite innocent, but there's a wider world of this all out there right now. Let me explain. Good morning. Of course, it's never been easier, has it, to use tools like ChatGPT and other AI programs, and they can be used to create or edit entire books. But there's a debate over the way it's being used in the book industry. Now, first of all, it's fair to say there's some pretty bad examples out there. Take a look at this one. It's a fake biography book about King Charles that appeared on sites, including Amazon, a couple of years ago before being removed. In fact, several books about King Charles were removed after it was suspected they'd been generated by AI, and Buckingham Palace said they included inaccurate and insensitive information about his cancer diagnosis. Now, the BBC's technology correspondent, Zoe Kleiman, she's also been looking into this. Here she is last year reading what was a Christmas present she was sent. It was a book that looks like she's written it by herself. In fact, it was created entirely by AI, just with a few simple prompts about Zoe supplied by a friend. Now, this one was really just for a bit of fun. But is it possible to tell if what you're reading is by AI? The answer is no, not always. But there can be some poor examples that do have a few giveaways, things like this. Perhaps there might be some bad and clunky grammar. Perhaps the excessive use of long horizontal lines or extra dashes. That's something which can be common in some AI-generated text. Now, some using AI say if it's used well, it can generate some worthwhile books, but a number of fiction writers have concerns. A recent survey conducted by the University of Cambridge of more than 250 published UK novelists found that more than half think AI, well, it might entirely replace their work as fiction writers, while 59% say they know their work has been used to train AI learning models without their permission. And more than a third say they feel like their income has already taken a hit from the use of generative AI. Now, Harriet Evans has authored 15 novels. Her most recent was unfortunately copied and leaked on a pirated site last year, a month before its scheduled publication. She believes really strongly that a good book is something that AI simply can't match. But AI, it isn't going away. And here's the reality. The boss of the bookseller Waterstones told the BBC last month that his company would sell books that have been partly or completely written with the assistance of AI if that's what customers want. And some authors are embracing it. We've been speaking to Michael Langdon, who's an author that's self-published more than 50 books. He writes his own work without AI, but also publishes AI books, using it to help with the creation and editing process. And he says it can be a good tool. So like a lot of AI, it seems it comes down once again to how you use it, though there's still a lot of worry in creative industries. Of course, John and Sally, not just book writing, but for musicians, filmmakers, things like that, about how this is all developing.
Yeah, it is a worry, isn't it, Emma? Thank you so much.
Really, really